are ready to get started. So let's get started. Of course, I am Deborah Jenkins. I'm the research assistant for the Lincoln University Cooperative Extension Paula Carter Center on Minority Health and Aging. Welcome to everyone, our participants and our guests. Thank you for attending. Let's go around to our satellite locations to make sure they are connected. Let's start with Carruthersville Center. Miss Adrian Hunter Greene.
Hello, we're here.
Wonderful.
I'm Bernanne Thompson. Yes.
Good.
Hello. My name is Queen Fish. And I'm Paula Mooney.
Thank you, ladies, for attending.
And that's all we have at the present time, but we got some more coming in.
All right, no problem. Have you been completing the pre-test that we have? There's a pre-test that you should also be taking before the presentation starts. So I hope every site's doing that. Let's move.
All right, we'll see. We'll see.
Please do. Let's move up the virtual highway of 55 to Sykeston. All right, Sykeston, you're on. Sykeston, going once. Please unmute. Going once, going twice. I think they're on. All right, Sykeston, you on. Please say who's in the room. Sykeston. Please introduce yourself.
I don't know which one she did here.
We can hear you.
You're right, we can hear you. All right, you're on. Is Miss Rosie Davis in the room? Well, Miss Rosie, we're waiting for introductions from your area.
Okay, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Okay, you're trying to get us into that stuff, we're still getting settled right now.
All right, I will move up to St. Louis and I will come back to you.
Just go, can you start, please?
Yes.
So lift the long street. Ida Fulton. Good morning, Priscilla McClellan. Good morning, Doris Harris. Good morning, Mary Beth Jemison. Good morning, Carol Howell. Good morning, Charlie Thompson. Good morning, Rosemary Cruz. Good morning, Juanita McClinton Sykeston. Good morning, Sheriff Maxwell Charleston. Good morning, Elizabeth Coward Charleston. Good morning, Judy Wallace Charleston. Good morning, Elizabeth Mary Charleston. Good morning, Shirley Powell Charleston.
Good morning, Home Chapel, Charleston.
Good morning, Justine Horton Charleston. Good morning, Carol Fennell Charleston. Okay, and that's our group for right now.
You all sound like you have a big group. How many's in this group?
Yeah, that's your change. Let me mute it.
All right, let's move up the highway to St. Louis.
Good morning, Jennifer A. John, Mia. Y'all make it. Good
All right, thank you, Miss Jennifer. All right, Kansas City, here we come. You're on.
Good morning, this is Kevrick.
Great.
Good morning, this is Linda Everett. Good morning, this is Tammy Connor.
Is that
That's it.
all right? Thank you, KC. Let's move to Mid-Missouri, starting with our guest in the very back of the room. Please introduce yourself.
Good morning, this is Cindy Carr with Claim. I'll be presenting today.
Hi, I'm Greene Hall with the Secretary of State's Office in the Securities Division. We're here with Todd and Chris.
I'm Chris Moreland with the Missouri Securities Division. We're part of the Secretary of State's office.
Thank you. And let's move up to Miss Florence. You're here. Thank you for attending. I was kind of concerned. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Florence Vaughn from Jefferson City, Missouri.
Great.
You been to Jeff City?
Thank you, Mr. Onesimus.
Yeah, Jeff City.
Thank you. Mr. Glover.
I'm Glover, Fulton, Missouri.
Shirley Whitmore, Philadelphia, Missouri.
Carolyn Pell, Jefferson City, Missouri.
Good morning, Isabella Elbert, Columbia, Missouri.
Kate Smith, Columbia, Missouri.
And I Columbia, Missouri.
Thank you. Let's have a big, robust good morning on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Good morning. Great.
Morning.
We were all supposed to be in sync, but that's okay. All right. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our speaker for today. And I want to say that these two presentations that we have today, basically, they have carried very well, especially dealing with financial health. And so I'm going to begin with the bio of Mr. Todd Hurt. Mr. Todd Hurt is the manager of the Vulnerable Citizens Service Unit in the Securities Division of Secretary of State John R. Ashcroft's office. Prior to taking this position in February of this year, he was the chief of police for the Missouri Capitol Police Department, a position he held for 13 years. While serving as chief, he received recognition from the Centers for Independent Living, the Governor's Council on Disability, and the Missouri House of Representatives, among others. Prior to his appointment as chief, he was a Missouri State Water Patrol officer serving Lake of the Ozarks and the St. Louis area. Todd served in Operation Desert Shield and Desert Storm in the 101st Airborne Infantry Division, receiving combat citations as a field paramedic. He is a 1989 graduate of the University of Central Missouri. Without further ado, please welcome Mr. Todd Hurt.
Thank you very, very much, Ms. Jenkins. What a great crowd. I mean, I'm excited to be here. This is going to be fun. I'm going to ask for a little bit of tolerance because although I developed this program, this is going to be the first time I've given it. As you heard, I just started in February, so you're my test audience. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I would like to introduce some guests that I brought with me. They've already introduced themselves, but Ms. Courtney Paula and Mr. Christopher Marlowe. They're here to kind of evaluate and see if I can keep doing this or not. So hopefully they'll give me a passing grade. So what we're going to talk about today is financial literacy. And although that sounds pretty easy, money, dollars, things like that, it kind of is, but it can kind of be complicated. And what we deal with in the Secretary of State's office is when money gets complicated. But to get to where money gets complicated, we kind of have to start off with a place where it's simple, right? So, financial literacy is being able to understand how money works in the world. Who would be financially literate? Who are some people that you might think of? I wrote down a few examples here. Bankers, securities professionals, economists, financial advisors, and you. Yeah, everybody in here probably has a checking account, a checkbook, savings account, and some investments. So, how does money work in the world? Here's an example, a really simple example. Let's say you had $10,000 and you put it in a savings account. The bank might give you $150 if you keep it in there for a year, right? We call that interest. In 4 years, you'd make $600, right? And let's say that bank uses that money to give someone to buy someone else a car. All right, they're going to loan that money to someone else. They would be the borrower. The borrower would be making payments, and let's just say they pay $237.50 a month for 4 years for that car. The same time you are making $600 for that $10,000, right? You're letting the bank use it. They're letting somebody else use it to buy a car. So the bank is making $237.50 times 48 months, $11,400, right? Almost. But they have to give you back $600 for letting you use it, and the $10,000 was yours. So minus the $600 and the $10,000, the bank makes $800. Here's a little graphic to show you kind of what it looks like. These are the three circles that we just kind of talked about. The bank's in the middle. They really didn't do anything except for control it. They used your money. You're on the first side over here, the depositor, and the borrower, he's out $1,400, the interest, right? But he has a 4-year-old car. So that's kind of an example. Now, you have to think about which circle do you want to be in. The banks are pretty good, right? So they're in the middle circle there. They're making money off of your money, right? And they're giving you some money back. That's a very, very simple way to understand how money works in the world. So what you just saw is an extremely oversimplified version of financial literacy. So answer these questions to yourself. They're not on your pretest. So these are kind of more what we're going to talk about. What is a security? Now, you heard Ms. Jenkins say I was a police chief. Well, that's kind of security, isn't it? A little different, though, from what we're talking about here. We're going to go into that. What is a financial advisor? What is fraud? Something you want to avoid. So, let's talk about first, what is a security? I want to read you what it says here. It's kind of small up there. The Financial Dictionary defines a security as a document historically physically a certificate, but increasingly electronic, showing that one owns a portion of a publicly traded company or is owned by a portion of the debt issue. Securities are tradable, and other most basic securities refer to stocks, bonds, terms of affairs, derivatives such as futures and options. So now you know what it is, right? See? What it is stocks and bonds. That's what we're talking about, the Dow Jones, things like that. It gets kind of complicated. Really what a layman's version of a security is, paying for a portion of profit gained from work you do not actually do. Now again, there's some fine print in there. And fine print is part of financial literacy. You have to learn to read those things. But where it says profit or gain, there's also a possibility of a loss from work you do not actually do. So loss, gain. It's also ownership of something you do not actually possess. So I could say, I own Caterpillar, right? Do I actually own Caterpillar? I don't possess it, but I could have bought stock in the company. That's really what that means. That would be a very simple layman's term of what a security is. So how does a security fit into what financial literacy is, what our class we're talking about today? You've learned over the course of your life, and what we just talked about earlier, that borrowing money makes your money work for someone else. And you've learned that through a series of trial and error, that since you want your money to work for you, securities might be a good option, right? So you want to maybe buy stocks. You want to loan your money to somebody like Caterpillar so they can make it work. They can build the machines and sell them, make a profit off your money. Now I have to say this, because it's kind of part of what we do as regulators. Securities may not be an option for everyone. This is my disclaimer. There can be a risk in securities transactions. This presentation is for educational purposes only and not meant to persuade someone into anything other than a savings account. Now, so here's the interesting part. Securities are actually a way of loaning your money to something like a business. And when you are the lender, the borrower pays, maybe. The big question here is, how and where do you loan or invest your money? Now, there's a lot of people out there that are going to tell you how to do that. But what we do is make sure that those people are the right people telling you the right things. That's kind of our job. Since this is a very complicated issue, and it's a hard thing to understand because words like diversify, suitability, mutual fund, option, crowdfunding, commodity, you can go on and on. All these terms commingle in the business that we deal with as a securities regulator. So, how do you do it and where do you start? A good place to start investing money is with a financial advisor. And the best way to research what financial advisors may be to use is through broker check. Now, what is broker check? Regulators have come up with a set of rules for all people giving financial advice to play by. If someone engages in the business of giving financial advice, they are regulated. To check their history of playing by the rules, that's why broker check was established. So, this is our website, right here, the Secretary of State's office. You can go to mo.gov, click on the Secretary of State's office, you're going to see this. Choose Investor Protection and Securities in Education. The little hand shows you right where that's at. And after you pick Investor Education, you're going to come to this page, right here. And that page, right in the middle, is our broker check link. So let's just say you were out thinking about where to put your money. You might look in the yellow page. I don't know. You might look on the internet. But what you want to do is, if you are seriously considering somebody, is use this link, broker check. Now, I wanted to put this in here too, because right underneath there it shows our investor protection hotline. And we have a way for you to call us and check if you don't have internet or don't want to do it that way. You can call us and we'll check for you. Either way, it comes down to this. This screen right here, where you can type in somebody's name. Let's just pick a name. We'll say Tom Smith. All right, I just made this up. I don't know Tom Smith that's a broker or anything. When you put him in there and you click on search, it's kind of like looking somebody up on CaseNet or something, you know. You're going to come up with a whole bunch of Tom Smiths. So you can see Tom Smith III is the first one, Thomas Wayne Smith, but there's also 25 pages of Tom Smith, if you'll notice there. Well, the second Tom Smith that is on here, you can see he's barred. He is not allowed to give financial advice anymore. So one of these 25 pages, one person. Well, why? If you click on that, you're going to see here, this is where this is going to take you. And it says, again, I'm going to read this like I read the other one, 328-2000 NAC Rule 1031A-2110 and 3040. Respondent participated in the offer of sale of compensation of $25,000 promissory note to public customer failed to neglect, and it goes on, right? So, he violated Rule 1031 and Rule 3040. That's a lot of rules. I wonder what rule number 1 is, you know? So that's probably beyond the scope of financial literacy. That's why the people that are regulators have developed this system, so that we know as securities regulators, and you know as citizens out there, that you can check to see if you're looking at Tom Smith, if he's the right guy, or if he broke Rule 1034, you know, that may not be good. It's probably a pretty serious rule because it's that hard, right? Now, we don't expect everybody to know all these rules, and that's why it's kind of a big deal, all right? So, you've seen the Scrabble theme. What is the big deal in financial literacy? Tell me when you get it, if anybody gets it. It's 2 words, so it's hard. Not simple. right? We started out with simplicity, and it gets to be not simple. In fact, it's so complicated, there are 3 regulatory agencies. Does anybody know one of them? The Securities and Exchange Commission. Now, I did give a little talk before, and I called it the SEC, and they thought I was talking about basketball. It's not basketball or football. Securities and Exchange Commission, that's the federal government. There's also what we've already talked about a little bit, Financial Industry Regulatory Authority. That's called FINRA. If you hear your, maybe your insurance person or somebody on the radio, they'll say, remember FINRA, FIPC, and all those things. FINRA is what they put together on their own to regulate themselves. And I'm the third one, and Chris and Courtney, we work for the State Securities Commissioner. In Missouri, the State Securities Commissioner is housed in the Missouri Secretary of State's office. Who knows who the Missouri Secretary of State is? Right, very good. And there was already a slide on that. So before I gave this, I gave it up at Truman State, a different one, and nobody did. So, but that was Truman, they're a little disconnected. You know, we're here in the city government. These agencies exist because the financial industry and the government wants you, the investor, to be treated right. There should be no cracks for someone to slip through to gain an advantage over you or any other investor. So just think of how it would be if there were no rules in place to govern how you borrowed or even loaned money. Essentially, no one would really ever do it because it would be no rules. There has to be rules, and there has to be dedicated people to enforce them. Does anybody know who said, I'm going to read this, I'll read it slower, I promise. Our aim is not to do away with corporations. On the contrary, these big aggregations are an inevitable development of modern industrialism. We are not hostile to them. We are merely determined that they shall be so handled as to subserve the public good. We draw the line against misconduct, not against wealth. I will give you a hint. That was said over a century ago by Teddy Roosevelt. We draw the line against misconduct. That's the same thing today. As regulators, we're not against big corporations. We are against big corporations stealing from you, or the in-between people stealing. Misconduct in the world of financial regulation is also known as fraud. Many people fall victim to financial violations. Almost $39 billion annually are taken from their rightful owner through exploitation in one way or the other. It's terrible. A portion of this is securities and trading related. Here's an example of fraud, and unfortunately, this is a very common example. A senior citizen is approached by someone who might be an agent, or say they're an agent, or it might be a free lunch deal. There's all kinds of ways that they get approached by this, with an offer of an investment. They're told that they have a borrower who's willing to pay 16% APR for a loan that will be paid in 3 years. Given your experience with financial literacy, this is a good deal, right? If you can make 16% on your money, that's really good. And they'll say you'll end up with $41,000 if you give them $100,000 in 3 years. Yeah, right, that's right. But some people don't say that, you know. Yeah, and here's another thing. People don't realize they can come into this kind of money, you know, and it's not that far out of the realm of possibility. There's all kinds of ways people come into this amount of money. We may not have it now, but it's not to say it won't happen to us. And when you get that, when you're in that situation, you're going to look for a place to put it. So, let's say the first month goes by. A senior citizen is going to get a check that looks like this, $1,306.81 after a month. And they might even get something that looks like this. There's your initial deposit, $100,000. You made $1,300 in 1 month. They're even going to do something like add on some fees and costs, which normally we're used to paying, right? Well, now you're getting that. And so your total was $1,306.81 that they paid out of what you've made, and you still have a remaining balance of $100,000. Looks really good, doesn't it? They're going to make it look good. Well, the whole time, A signature, remember A signature is the person that signed the check down there. He's counting on the senior citizen who just got that check, along with the statement, to tell somebody else about what a great investment this is. They're also going to hope that you're ready to invest more money when they call you again. Hey, this is working out really good. The 16% is coming through. You want to put some more money in it. They're going to make it look like a really great deal. And they're going to hope that you have somebody else that you're going to tell about it to get them to put the money in it too. So, potentially, this can go on forever. While A signature has never ever lent the money to anyone or invested it anywhere, A signature is going to have a high-end lifestyle. That's personal. So, how does the Securities Division find out about things like this? How do we find out about fraud? There's a couple ways. The victim tells us. Sometimes the victim doesn't tell us. They're embarrassed. Because after 3 years, they might have got paid back a little bit of this money, but they're never going to hear from this person. And the $100,000 is basically just stolen. We have a hotline, Investor Protection Hotline. It's on our website. Chris brought some cards. I have some cards here. We'll leave it up so that you might be able to call. We answer the phones during business hours. If not, leave a message. I'll be right back. We also have a Vulnerable Citizen Services Hotline. That's kind of my job. My job is all the investigations that come through and get closed. After they're closed, they come to my desk. And I make sure that if we refer it to a local police department because it was just basically stealing, that they follow through on it. So I deal with the local police departments a lot. In my previous job, I did that too. So that's kind of why they brought me in, I think. We also learn about fraud through person-to-person outreach efforts. Like what we're doing right now. Somebody in here might want to. We also have an online reporting system at the website I just showed you earlier. And there are some other ways that we find out about this. Also, other government agencies. Some examples of agencies that refer cases to us are the Department of Health and Senior Services. We work a lot with them. Almost a day doesn't go by that I don't talk to someone at Health and Senior Services. The Attorney General's Office refers a lot of cases to us. Division of Finance, who regulates all the banks. Other states. Every state has a securities commissioner, not just Missouri, every one. Also, we've already talked about the Securities and Exchange Commission and FINRA may refer cases to us as well. What are some other ways that our division detects fraud in the financial arena? There are proactive measures that we take to uncover violations, such as we do audits. We have a division in our office that will go to, just say, Merrill Lynch or Transamerica, Wells Fargo. They'll go look at their books, make sure everything's legit, move on. If not, it comes to an investigator to look into. We also do self-initiated research. Sometimes Chris will sit in there and listen to a radio program where somebody's giving financial advice, just to see if they're registered, if they need to be, if they're getting compensated in some way, if they're doing the right thing. We also do educational events like we're doing today. I didn't think this would fully be a financial literacy class if I didn't talk a little bit about payday loans. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about payday loans, and then I'm going to open it up to answer any questions. There's some interesting facts about payday loans, also known as title loans, cash advance, fast loans, need money now, all those terms you've heard. And they're everywhere. You can't drive down a main street without seeing one. And this is why. The annual percentage rate for payday loans, it varies in each state, and it depends on the advance amount fees, terms of the transaction, and all kinds of things. APR, which we've already talked about, 16 was really high when the bank's giving you 1.5, right? What they're charging you may range anywhere from 260.7% up to 780%. Now, do you think they're going to tell you that up front? No. They try to hide that. What does this mean in terms of dollars? Let's just take a number right in the middle. Let's say they're going to charge you 521%. They divide that by 365 to get the daily rate, so 1.4% daily. Now that doesn't look too bad, right? Until you're talking about every day, daily percentage. So each day, a borrow of $300 costs them $4.20 each day. So in 1 month, a loan of $300 costs $126. Now, not only this, they're going to get somebody that needs money from a payday loan, they're going to get enough information in advance to make it a crime if you don't pay them back. They might get a signed check from you, things like that, where they can cash and then the balance and then take it to a prosecutor. So payday loans are something to avoid if at all possible. That's it. That's not bad. Yes, there was a lot of bad news there, wasn't there? So I guess the best thing to say to sum all this up is just be careful. Call us if you need help.
We are going to go to the satellite locations for questions. Let's start with Kansas City. Kansas City, do you have any questions?
I don't have. You don't have one? You don't have one?
No questions from Kansas City? Let's move to St. Louis. St. Louis.
Okay, St. Louis have one question, or maybe more.
Go ahead.
What is the good percentage for like a checking or savings account? For what you would get from the bank?
Okay, the question was, what is the, I'm thinking interest percentage from a checking or savings account that you would get from the bank if you just had your money in that account? Well, that's a good question. Every bank's different. My bank is 0. But that's just for my checking account. A savings account is not going to be very high. It just depends on how, if you get a CD, it's different. Every bank is different, but to answer your question, between 0 and 2% generally.
St. Louis, any other questions? Miss Jennifer, any other questions from St. Louis? Going once?
Yes, we have one more question.
Okay.
I don't want to hear them.
Does he teach this class at school, go to the different schools, junior high or high school level, to teach this type of class?
The question is, do I go to junior high school or high school to teach this class? And the answer is, I've been here 3 months and I haven't yet, but I would say that I would, if it was requested. We just put together with the state library, the Secretary of State is also the state's librarian. We're putting out to every library in the state this presentation. We're going to get a lot of requests, I'm sure, but we're going to go through them. And that's another thing you need to look at your public library to say, hey, we want this presentation. I can go out and do that. The Secretary's authorized me to do that. Good question.
All right. Well, let's move down to 55. Sykeston, Charleston. Do you have any questions?
question. We don't have questions, just tell them. She's not there, so.
Any comments? We take comments.
I can't, if the dude took down something, you got, see, it's not, it says you are unmuted. Can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am, we can. Go ahead.
You can hear us?
Yes.
Okay, we don't have any question, and it is very difficult for us to understand. It's a lot of in and outing and everything, so we're having a very difficult time. Even though the presentation, what we do here sounds very good, it's very difficult for us. So please forgive us for all this going on right now.
No problem. Any comments, by the way? Any other comments?
They're like it. They're trying to understand, but we're missing most of it. We're missing.
Well,
this stuff is loaded up. It's not supposed to be loaded up. All the stuff is loaded up now. Okay, I gotta get it.
Deborah, can you remind them it'll be on the internet and they can watch it in its entirety?
actually, here's Miss Pamela just reminded me, this presentation is presently being recorded and it will be uploaded on the Paula J. Carter Center's website.
Thanks.
You are very welcome. Well, let's move down to Carruthersville. Carruthersville, any questions?
We don't have any questions, but the program is very interesting.
Good.
Very interesting. A lot about the payday loans, that we didn't know that. And so it's very interesting. Thank you.
All righty. Mid-Missouri, do we have any questions, comments? Going once.
When you showed the check that the person would get from that, the fraud, on page 9, I mean, would you get some initial earnings and then you wouldn't hear from the person anymore? Is that how it works?
Well, okay, and I don't know if it's gonna come up here. I think we're talking about the check that said $1,306. Okay, so if you remember, it comes with a balance sheet. Okay, so you've invested, maybe invested, you've got your money stolen. What happens is, they're gonna make it look like you've put $100,000 in a savings account. Now, you could just take a zero or a period off this and it might just be $10,000. And then you get if it was just $10,000, you get a check for $130.68. Now, you're gonna get that with a sheet that makes it look like you still got $100,000 or $10,000 in your investment account. That's what it's gonna look like. When in reality, it may or may not be there. But that's why it's up to you to do your due diligence and call us or check with Broker Check, have us check with Broker Check to make sure that this person is a legitimate lender, a legitimate financial advisor, and make sure they're not barred, you know, like our example, Mr. Smith. Very good question, excellent. Yes, sir.
What's the rate that investment brokers get when they handle your money for you?
Sure, the question is, what's the rate that investment brokers get when they handle your money? And the answer is a very broad spectrum, anywhere from 0.5% up to sometimes, I've seen 10%, you know, which is not good, but, you know, that's up to you to do that homework, look at it, find out what percentage they're taking off of it, too. You know, they're gonna, and some of them get percentage based on how much money they make you, how much money you have totally invested with them. Everything really is different. And to be honest with you, I'm not the total expert on that, but Mr. Marlowe back here is, and he's gonna give me a head nod if I did it right. Did I answer that question okay?
I think you did fine.
Okay. So, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what is the telephone number if we want to call and let you all give this to us? just over the phone?
Sure, I'm gonna read it to you.
Okay. Do we have it? I know it's on page 5, but it's,
800
yeah,
721
721, okay.
7996 is
Okay.
the investor protection hotline.
That's our, yeah.
And the vulnerable citizen services hotline is 855
855
653
653.
7300.
And that one is 7,300.
And oftentimes it's people with, that have been,
Would you please repeat?
And it's for what?
Just write it down, that's my problem.
Turn around.
Repeat it again.
Tell me again, Chris. Just
the,
the vulnerable citizens.
the investor protection hotline is 800
800
721
721
7996.
7996.
Or the vulnerable citizen services line is 855
855
653
653
7300.
7300. Thank you, Chris.
And when would we be a vulnerable citizen as opposed to the other?
Well, that's a very good question. There is a definition of that in the statutes, and it's anybody that's 59 and a half years of age or older or has a disability.
Okay.
But we're going to look at veterans, other situations. You know, as far as my job title, if somebody thinks they're a vulnerable citizen, I'm going to say you're not.
You're not gonna ask us how old we are, how
Right.
handicapped.
That's right. Now, Department of Health and Senior Services, they do have specific guidelines that they have to follow as far as financial exploitation when it comes to the criminal statutes, financial exploitation of a senior citizen or a disabled person. And that's the definitions that I gave you. And the reason that that is there is because that is a criminal statute, and it bumps it up when you're in that range from a Class C felony to a Class B felony. If somebody's actually, and we find that, people that are in nursing homes, that they're, you know, somebody gets acquainted with them and they take their money one way or the other. You know, that might be an example, but there's all kinds of, they just take a check out of their check, you know, and go write themselves a check. There's all kinds of examples. To answer your question though, I think we're not gonna turn you down. And if anything else, if nothing else, we're gonna steer you in the right direction if it's not necessarily securities related.
Okay.
I just have a question. I'm curious how you went from being the chief of police for the Capitol, is that what it was? To that kind of security to this type of security?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. The question was how I came from Capitol Police to working in the Securities Division of the Secretary of State's office. Well, I was a little burnt out. I've been a police officer for 25 years, and I was really a little bit burnt out on not really helping people. I mean, that's what I wanted to do my whole life. And that's why people become police officers. I have tangible results now, you know. I can see that I'm helping people, you know. And I've had some cases that have been, I swore to tell the truth and sat there in the jury box and told the truth, you know, that I don't think really helped anybody. And so this is very rewarding to me. I know personally Jay Ashcroft's chief of staff, and when he appointed her, I called her up and said, this is what I want to do. And she says, absolutely, we'd love to have you. But that's a great question.
Very good.
Any other questions from Mid-Missouri?
I just want to know, I know you're talking about investments, but how does that relate to, just say specifically, a personal savings account? Is your money still used in that same area as it, that they just use your money in?
Yeah, when you put money into a savings account at a bank, it's very safe. I mean, it's insured by the federal government, right? It says FDIC on it. But that doesn't mean that that bank can't loan it out, you know. That's how they make, that's why they do what they do. They take those deposits and they generate funds from them. But they still guarantee that your money is there.
Is that the same as a teacher's credit union? Do they work on the same level?
For the most part. And it gets a lot more complicated than that, probably more complicated than I can explain to you. But a credit union and a bank are very, very similar, yes.
I wanted to ask a question about, do the federal regulated bank only guarantee a certain amount of money, any amount of money over that amount, they're not responsible for covering?
The question is, does the federal government only guarantee a certain amount of money?
That you have in your account, in your
Yeah.
savings account?
Yeah, I think there used to be where it was like $100,000,
Right.
but I don't think that's the case anymore. I think they guarantee deposits.
Oh, okay, just checking.
So if we want to know,
What are you doing for lunch?
We want to know if our bank, if the interest for savings loans, I mean, if we want to comparison shop, with, what number do we call?
Yeah, you just have to go from bank to bank and
Oh,
find out.
man.
Every bank has a different product. Every bank has a different product.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe, like what I said before, a financial advisor might be a person to talk to about it. They're gonna take a little bit of money, okay?
Yeah.
That's why they do it. But, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and say they're all bad, because they do some great things for people. A lot of these investment accounts, you can write checks out of.
Right. And won't be penalized, but you have to be a certain age.
To have an investment account, you have to be an adult.
We have time for one more question. Any more questions? Going once? Going twice? All right. Please join me in a round of applause for Mr. Todd Hurt.
I'm gonna leave my cards up here if anybody wants to.
At this time, you have a post-test, so please go ahead and complete your post-test for this presentation, financial literacy. We'll give you a few minutes to do this. Do you have that? I really was hoping that could be mentioned. So in other words, you have to just make it back.
Absolutely. Any further discussion? Thank you.
Under a break and all that. It's like we don't know it's right. They figure it out, but we don't do nothing.
I just have to say that many of you seniors, you all are very, working very diligent and concentrating on the discussion today. So thank you for doing that. St. Louis, I can see you. Also Southeast Missouri, Kansas City. At this time, I hope you have completed. Let's go around to make sure everyone's connected. Southeast Missouri, I see Carruthersville. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
All right, great. I just want to make sure that we're connected. All right, let's move up to.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move up to Sykeston and also Charleston. They're temporarily at the Sykeston location. All right, Sykeston and Charleston, go ahead.
We hear you. We hear you right now.
Wonderful. Great. Good. Let's move up to St. Louis. Can you hear me? St. Louis, can you hear me?
St. Louis.
All right. Kansas City. Kansas City, can you hear me? KC, going once.
We're here.
I thought I was, all right, thank you. Great. All right. At this time, we're going to go ahead and transition into our next presentation on stretching your healthcare dollars. So at this time, I'm going to briefly read the bio of our next presenter, Ms. Cindy Carr. Cindy Carr joined the claim team in 2013. Her responsibilities as regional liaison for 18 central Missouri counties include recruiting and retaining claim volunteer counselors, coordinating community outreach and educational events, assisting community partners such as the Paula Carter Centers with resources, and counseling Medicare beneficiaries regarding their insurance needs. As MIPA, which stands for Medicare Improvements for Patient and Providers Act Project Assistant, she works hand in hand with the MIPA manager. This includes statewide outreach educational events, outreach materials, and collection of data for special projects. Cindy's previous work experience includes 5 years with nonprofit organizations and 21 years in managerial administrative positions. Cindy is actively involved in her Ashland, Missouri community as a past president and active member of the Ashland Garden Club. She has 3 grown children and enjoys outdoor activities and her garden. Please welcome Miss Cindy Carr.
How are y'all doing today? Are you awake?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Let's start about talking about stretching your healthcare dollars for your Medicare. Can we put the presentation on the screen? So first of all, let's talk about what CLAIM is. Has anybody here heard of the CLAIM organization or have used our services in the past? Yes? Good. We are part of the State Health Insurance Assistance Program, which are the SHIP programs. It's a national network, and every state has a SHIP program just to help their local state clients, any of their Medicare questions, needs, any answers, if they have any appeals, anything like that to do with Medicare. So that's what we're here to help you with. So we were created in 1990 with the Medicare reform package, just to help you understand your Medicare rights. Your Medicare needs to make those informed decisions to make sure that you get the best coverage for your dollar that you can. We also resolve any issues that you have with the Medicare program. We report back to state Senior Medicare Patrol, the S&P, for any fraud with Medicare. So if you have any fraud cases, you can give us a call and we can put you in touch with those. We also report back to CMS, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, if there's any issues that we see that are continually happening in the area so that they can look into that and address it if there's an issue that needs to be fixed. So we're actually funded through the Missouri Department of Insurance here in Jeff City. They received the grant since 1993, and our foundation, Primaris Foundation, has received that grant since 1993, and it is something that we've renewed several years now. We're very proud of the fact that we have kept that grant right here in the state of Missouri for the SHIP program. Our Primaris Foundation is actually a nonprofit organization. Our home office is based in Columbia, so we're really close. So if we have a walk-in clinic there, if you have any Medicare questions, you can call and give us a set an appointment to meet with one of our counselors and get that all set up so we can take care of any of your Medicare questions. Okay. Some of the people that we serve, these are just a few examples. So we can serve anybody who helps anyone with Medicare. We are finding a lot of people nowadays, their sons and daughters are helping with Medicare. People's friends are helping them with their Medicare issues. So any question about Medicare, we can help you, excuse me, we can help you navigate the answers for that. So this could be anybody who's just retiring or someone who is already retired and on Medicare, somebody who just lost their benefits because of loss of a job, but they are Medicare age so that they can go on to Medicare. We can help them get that all set up to see what they need and help counsel them on what their choices are. So let's get into some of the programs that's going to help you save that Medicare money, okay? The first program we want to talk about is the Missouri RX program. Now this is a Missouri state program. It's part of the State Pharmacy Assistance Program. And what this program will do, if you qualify for it, is it will actually pay half of your cost when you go to the pharmacy. So if your prescription drug cost at the pharmacy is costing you $30 out of your pocket, you now only have to pay $15. Okay? So this can save a lot of money because some of those drugs, when you go to the pharmacy, could be, $100, and you're saving $50. So this is a really good program for the state, and it does not pay any of your plan premiums for your prescription drug plan, but it does help you save those dollars at the pharmacy. Okay? It's a federally accepted program, but none of the payments that the pharmacy or the Missouri RX program make go towards your deductible. So if you have a prescription drug plan and you're going to have a donut hole later on, the part that the pharmacy pays will not count towards those deductibles, okay, or the premiums. Sorry, out-of-pocket maximums. Okay. So to be in this program, you must be enrolled in a Medicare Part D plan. That does also include if you're in an Advantage plan with a prescription drug attached to it. So you must meet the annual income requirements, which for a single person right now is a little over $1,800 a month. So if you make under $1,800 a month, you might qualify for this program. And this is the only program that saves money that does not count your resources. You can have as much money in the bank, you can have 401k, but as long as you're under that $1,800 a month income level, you can qualify for this program. That's how easy it is. Okay? All you will need is to fill out an application, and then you need a copy of your Medicare card and a copy of your Social Security card. And that is actually sent to an address here in Jeff City. If you want to qualify for this program, there is a place you can download it on the web, which we'll bring up later, or you can just contact us. We'll send you the application, it's that easy. We actually have some of the applications here at the Paula J. Carter Center, where it's one of our partners. We actually have an office. And if you want to, we can also get you one today, okay? Anybody who's at another site, if you want to call our 800 number, we can send you one. So with this program, there is also some special features. If you are not on the Missouri RX program, but you qualify for the Missouri RX program and you're accepted, that will give you a chance to change your prescription drug plan one time. So if you're stuck in a prescription drug plan that's not doing you very, very well because your cost of your prescription drugs or the cost of the plan are going up, if you can qualify for this program, that gives you a special enrollment period that you can change a prescription drug plan before open enrollment time. Okay? Now, if you're eligible for Medicaid, you also are automatically enrolled in this program. So it's going to help cost your dollars there too. So make sure that you, when you're enrolled in Medicaid, that you are getting the Medicare Savings Program benefits, and that will enroll you in the Missouri RX. So if you're in the Missouri RX program and you are on Medicaid, but you have not met your spend down, and you might be losing your extra help benefits, you can still be on the Missouri RX program. Okay? It's not going to immediately cut you out of the Missouri RX program. But if you do lose your Medicaid and you need to restart your MoRx application, there may be a chance that you may have to stop it and reapply for it in order for it to kick back in for the full benefit. So if that ever happens, if you ever know anybody who loses their Medicaid because they didn't meet their spend down, have them give us a call so we can make sure that the Missouri RX is still going to continue after Medicaid is shut off. Any questions about that? That's very complicated, I know, but okay. Well, just remember, if you have a life change of any type, whether it's your income change or if you lose any insurance because of any reason that's not your fault, or if you're kicked off Medicaid for some reason, because there are a lot of changes coming up. We've all heard that. If they make some cuts to Medicaid, some people may be kicked off of Medicaid. So they may actually have to reinstate their Missouri RX so that they can still get those benefits. So if you have any life change that happens and you're on Medicare, give us a call. We can tell you what's going on. We can help you make sure that you're still getting the best benefits you can. Okay? So the other assistance programs that we use quite often, these are for if you have a certain prescription drug that is more costly than others. A lot of times these are specialty drugs that someone has to maintain on. And these are some more assistance programs that you can actually go online, print out a form, and see if you qualify, and they will actually help you pay for that prescription drug. So we use the Missouri, the rxassist.org is the first one. And it's a very reliable, these are reliable ones that we use ourselves. The needymeds.com and the rxoutreach.org is another discount program. So most of these programs are income or resource based, so you will have to fill out an application to see if you qualify, or you'll have to call an 800 number to see if you qualify. And the doctor is going to have to complete the forms that we download. So if you ever need any help with that, just give us a call. We can help you look these up, see what kind of prices is you could get help with those specific drugs are, and we can give you the required forms, help you fill that out, so you can take them to your doctor so that he can prove that you need that prescription. Okay? So another way to help, and if I'm going too fast, please just let me know. I tend to go through these because I know them more than you guys do. Another way to save some money is with the pharmacies. A lot of times, instead of getting a 30-day prescription, if you get a 90-day prescription, it's a cheaper price. Check it out, guys. It can save you some money. You can also use the pharmacy discount program. You know, they have like $4 programs, $10 programs for a prescription drug. And you do not have to use your Medicare prescription drug plan on every prescription drug. If you can actually get that drug cheaper at $4 price at Walmart than your prescription drug is going to let you have it at, go to Walmart. Get that prescription drug for $4. You know, sometimes you really have to shop around. I know Gerb's has discount programs, Walgreens has some discount programs, so I'm sure there's several pharmacies around here that do. And just make sure, do a little shopping, save yourself some money. You just have to remember that any of these discount programs, because you're not running them through your prescription drug plan, they're not going to apply towards your out-of-pocket cost for your donut hole. So sometimes it may actually save you money, and it may actually extend the time that you go on the donut hole because you're not running them through your plan. Okay? So let's go to some of the other programs we know. This is the LIS, which is the Low Income Subsidy, and this is through Social Security Administration. For this plan, you may actually qualify for a zero premium prescription drug plan. A prescription drug plan that's not going to cost you anything per month. Okay? And it's also going to reduce your prescription drug cost, depending on what your income is. These are all income-based programs. Now this one also does have resource limitations. So any of your assets, you have to be under a certain amount in order to qualify for this. So this is going to reduce your co-payments, it's going to reduce your premiums, and it also qualifies you for continuously open enrollment to change plans anytime, any month of the year. So if you're on a prescription drug plan or an Advantage plan that you don't like, that's not treating you well, you find out your doctor doesn't take that insurance if it's an Advantage plan, if you have this extra help program, you can change to a different prescription drug plan any time of the year. You can change prescription drug plan or Advantage plan every month if you need to. We don't recommend it. It gets to be a bit of a nightmare with paperwork, but you can do it. Okay? And we can help you do that. Give us a call. We can help you look at other plans, see what's available, and sign you up. Okay? Now you can apply for the Limited Income Subsidy program either through the Social Security website, which is listed here on our slide, or you can call us. We can help you sign up. It's an online application. There's a few questions. We will ask you your income. We will ask you your resources to make sure that you qualify. But because it's an electronic application online, it can be sent there and you can get an answer sometimes within 2 to 3 weeks as to whether you're on that program. So let's go to some of our Medicare savings programs. These are the ones that use both federal money and state funding to help you pay for your Medicare. Okay? They are tied with Mo Health Net, but we must remember that these are programs that are not in the repay for Mo Health Net for Medicaid. There are some programs like the food stamp program and things like that where they could put a lien on your assets later on to get their money back. The Medicare savings programs are not set up that way. They are never have to be paid back. Okay? So these will pay your Medicare premiums, both your prescription drug plan, and they will pay your Part B premium, which is the $134 they take out of your check every month. Okay? You may have to pay a little bit of deductible or coinsurance. Again, it's going to lower your cost of your drugs. You've been put on a zero premium plan because if you qualify for a Medicare savings program, you automatically qualify for the limited income subsidy plan. So you can be put on a zero premium plan or a lower cost premium plan. Okay? So this is qualifying you for extra help with Part D. which means you can change your prescription drug plan and or Advantage plan anytime during the year. If it's not working out for you, you can change it, okay? There are 3 different levels of assistance depending on your income and your resources. So this enrollment you can do through the Missouri Family Support Division, which is Medicaid, or we can help you fill out the paperwork. This is actually paper copy that you have to fill out. They haven't gone online yet. We're still waiting for that to happen, but we can help you fill that information out. So these are the different programs under the Medicare Savings Program. The first one is QMB, and this is the lowest on the scale for income, the lowest level income individuals. So this pays your Part B premium, and if you didn't have enough work history that you have to pay a Part A premium for your hospitalization, this plan will also pay that for you. So sometimes we get people who were teachers who their income wasn't, FICA wasn't coming out of their check, so they don't have their Part A paid for because they don't have the 40 credits to actually have free Part A, premium free Part A. And if they qualify for this program, that will be paid for them. Okay? So if you know somebody who is low income and they say, well, I can't have Medicare because it's going to cost me $400 a month and I can't afford it. If they're low enough income, they can't afford it because this program will pay it for them. So send them our way. We would be glad to help them get signed up for it. Okay? So again, this is also going to pay the premiums for Part D plans and or Advantage plans. It's going to eliminate deductibles. It also eliminates the coverage gap, which is the donut hole. So if you're on this program, you will never go in the donut hole. Your drugs are always going to be $3 for a generic or $6 for a name brand drug, or less. It might even be less. So this one you can qualify with us, and again, it's based on the income and your resources. And we will go over those limits towards the end. Okay? So the next level up is called a SLIMB. You know how we like acronyms. Specified Low Income Medicare Beneficiary. That's why there's an acronym. So this will pay, again, it'll pay your Part B premium. Won't pay your A because you make a little more money to qualify for this one. But again, your prescription drug plans, you can be a 0 premium. It will reduce any of your co-pays, any of the cost out of your pocket. You'll not have a coverage gap. And you can qualify for the continuous open enrollment. Anytime you want to change your plan during the year, we can help you change it. Okay? So the next level up from that is qualifying individual. Now this gets kind of complicated because some people call this a SLIMB too. So this one, you're making a little bit more money than you are in a SLIMB, or your resources might be a little higher. But again, it's going to pay your $134 Part B premium for your Medicare every month. You're going to get a 0 premium prescription drug plan. You're going to reduce your co-pays. You're going to be paying less for your drugs. And you're going to be qualifying for the continuous open enrollment again. And don't worry, I have a chart that pulls it all together at the end that's going to make it easier. Okay, and then there is straight Mo Health Net. This Mo Health Net, it acts as a supplement to Medicare. It pays your co-insurance, pays your deductibles, pays all the ones the other programs pay. And it also actually puts you right into the low-income subsidy like the other ones do. And this is our little picture of our donut for our little donut hole. And if you're on one of these Mo Health Net or Medicare Savings Plan programs, you never have to worry about that donut hole. You only have to pay the same amount every month for the whole year. Okay? So here's our chart, and everybody should have one of these in their packet that puts it all together for you. Okay? The lowest, the Mo Health Net, the lowest income is $874 a month for single, $1,170 a month for a couple. And then the resources is you have to have under $1,000 in the bank or in 401ks or anything like that. And if you're a couple, it has to be under $2,000. That is why this Medicare Savings Program pays Part A, Part B, prescription drug plan. I mean, these people really can't afford to pay for Medicare. So Mo Health Net is paying it for them. If they have any co-pays or deductibles, Mo Health Net will pay that for them. So it acts like a supplement to Medicare. A lot of people have a supplemental plan to pay for the costs that Medicare doesn't, the 20% Medicare doesn't. Mo Health Net will actually pay this for these individuals. So if you know anybody who's really struggling, it's the difference between paying for their prescription drugs or putting food on their table, please, please send them our way. There is help available, and we do need to let them know there's help. Okay? The next level up is the QMB, Qualified Medicare Beneficiaries. The monthly income for that one, single, $1,025. If you're a couple, it's $1,374. We had an instance where we were discussing, we divided the yearly amount out ourselves. We came up with $1,373. CMS said $1,374. We gave in. So it is $74. And again, the resources are a little higher. You can have, you know, as a single person, $7,390 in the bank. And as a couple, you can have a little over $11,000 in the bank and still qualify for this program. Okay? Slim B is the next one up. The resources stay the same from QMB up for the rest of the Medicare savings programs. However, the income is different. So you may qualify for one of these levels, or you might know someone who qualifies for one of these levels. So please let us know, send them our way, give them our card, we can definitely help them. So the bottom four are the Mo Health Net, or the Medicaid plans, okay? The second from the top is the low income subsidy. So if you qualify for any of those bottom four plans, you automatically qualify for the low income subsidy. They work hand in hand. If you're on a Medicare savings program, they will automatically enroll you in the limited income subsidy. However, you can have the limited income subsidy separately yourself if you don't qualify for the lower three plans. So that income is $1,528 for a single person, or $2,050 for a couple. And again, the resources are a lot higher. So a single person, $13,800 you can have in the bank, and as a couple you can have $27,600 in the bank, or in a 401k or anything like that. So it's, you know, it's based on your income. The limited income subsidy is not going to pay your Part B, but it will help you with your drug cost. And it can be a big difference if you have a lot of drugs. It can also get you a zero premium prescription drug plan. Okay? And then Missouri RX is the one at the very top there. And that's the one that a lot of people qualify for but don't realize they qualify for, because it does not count any resources. It is only based on your income. So you can have $100,000 in the bank, but if you only bring in $1,805 a month income or less, you qualify, and they will pay 50% of your drugs. So, okay? I talked too fast, I told you. Okay. Any questions on those plans? You know, the main thing to remember is if you have any questions about any of them, or if you have any interest in any of them, or know anybody who could benefit from them, just have them give us a call. We're an 800 number. We have over 300 counselors in the state of Missouri that are volunteers that we train just to answer these questions and help people find these programs. Okay? So other considerations that we wanted to help you save your money. Okay? Always compare your health care coverage. Every year we do annual open enrollment for the new year. And every year, drug companies drop drugs, move them up to a higher tier, charge $30 more a month for their plan. It's a mess. It really is a mess. And if you do not know how to go on the Medicare.gov website and search the different plans yourself to find what's best for you for the following year, please give us a call. We do have open enrollment events all over the state of Missouri. So far, I think I've got 15 or 16 scheduled in my 18 counties, and I'm just starting. Paula J. Carter Center will have one here, where you can schedule an appointment. You can come in and sit down at the computer with our counselor and look at the different plans and decide which one's best, and they can help you sign up for it. You can ask any question you want about Medicare. Okay? Ask questions. If someone tells you about a really good plan, remember, sometimes the really good plan is not the best choice. So you will be getting a lot of information from different plans, different insurance companies. I'm surprised it hasn't started coming to you yet. They seem to come earlier and earlier every year in the mail to you. And a lot of these plans are fine, but do check. Do your due diligence. Make sure it's the best one for you. Yes, ma'am.
When is the,
Open enrollment?
Sign up time?
Open enrollment is October 15th through December 7th. And like I said, we will have some here in Jeff City. We have some in Columbia. I have some in Fulton. There are some in St. Louis, Kansas City, Sikeston, Cape Girardeau. Anywhere you're at, we probably have a counselor near you who's going to be doing some open enrollment during that time. So you can call our 800 number, you can find out where they're going to be, and we can give you the number or set an appointment so that you can make an appointment to go in and see them. Okay? So read the paperwork if you're talking to someone who's trying to sell you a plan. They're not allowed to come door to door unless invited. If they do come to your door uninvited, you can give us a call and we will turn them in. There are a lot of pushy salesmen out there, so just due diligence again. If you do want to talk to somebody about a plan, that's perfectly fine. Get their information, get their paperwork. You may not want to sign it right away. You may want to think about it. You may want to check it out, and that's perfectly fine too. If they really want your business, they can wait for you to make your decision. Don't let them push you into anything without reading all the paperwork to see what's covered, okay? You can always say, just say no thank you, or let me look at it, give me your information, and I'll get back to you. Always get their information in writing. It never fails. Come January, we always get the calls at our call center that, well, they said I signed up for this, but they didn't leave me anything, and I don't know what it was. And it's like, okay, because they will call you on the phone and try to get you to sign up on the phone and not send you the paperwork later. So just make sure that you know what you're signing up for, okay? And if you do have a problem, please let us know. We can file a grievance, we can do an appeal, we can help you get out of the plan if you got into something and it was misrepresented to you. We do have that direct line with CMS, and we do have direct line with Senior Medicare Patrol for any fraud. They're one of our partners, and Division of Insurance here in Jeff City. We have a direct line with them. So if there's any of that information that you would like to stop them from doing the same to somebody else, please just give us a call. We would be glad to get that information from you. And you can even do it anonymously. So these are some of our resources. Again, we're with the claim program. You should have the little card in your packet that says claim at the top with the puzzle pieces. If you want to, just go ahead and put that with your insurance paperwork when you get home, in case anything comes up with Medicare. Feel free to give us a call. We've also provided you the information for the Social Security office if you want to go in and fill out that limited income subsidy yourself through the Social Security website. We've also given you the numbers for Division of Family Support. They are the ones who do the Medicaid and the Mo Health Net applications for extra help, or we can help you do that yourself, but if you feel comfortable, you can print it off yourself and send it in. We also are partnered with the local agencies on aging. They are also one of our partners, so we provide their website. And then the MoRx program is on there also. And they also have an 800 number if you'd rather call and get the information sent to you. Or you can call our 800 number and we'll send it to you. Okay? One more thing we like to touch on. Is there anybody in the audience, I'm going to talk to Mid-Missouri audience, sorry guys. Is there anybody in the audience who gets tired of waiting for their exclamation of benefits from Medicare? Comes every 3 months. And then you have to wait till you get that to see what's been paid, right? Okay. Medicare realized people are upset about this issue. So if you go on the mymedicare.gov website, you can now set up a personal account, which is very secure, and you can check those claims 2 days after they've happened. Okay? You can also go on here for any of your preventive services, like your wellness visit. You get it once a year to make sure that it's been a year. It will have the date of your wellness visit. It will have your whole history on your account. So please, if you want to do that, go on mymedicare.gov and set up a personalized account so that you can check this information in a more timely manner. That way, if there's a question, you don't think something was billed right, something was not approved to be paid, you can give us a call. We can help you check it out in a more timely fashion. Okay? And also, we are always looking for new volunteers. Come join our team. Our training is free. Like I said, we have over 300 counselors in the state of Missouri. We have 187 partnerships like we have here with the Paula J. Carter Center, where we actually have a place for our counselors to go, use a phone and computer and meet with people. And we are always looking for more people who are interested in helping others, because that's what we do. And we could not do it without our volunteer voice, our volunteer force of 300 people. Okay? Do you guys have any questions or concerns?
Well, let's go to a satellite location for questions. Kansas City, do you have any questions for Ms. Carr? Because Medicare can be quite complex.
They were disconnected.
They're back on.
Oh, good.
Kansas City, any questions or comments?
No.
All right. Let's move.
Can you not both disability? Wait a minute. Okay, she can hear you. No, she can't. Hold on.
Yes, we can.
And now we
Can you hear me, Deborah?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. We have a question. One question. Can you? I need to come up there. You gotta talk loud, cause do I need to come up? Oh, we left them. Hey, what did you do? I'm just putting it on mute.
We can hear you.
Okay, she can hear you. Okay, can you try to disability and Medicare too?
Yes, the question was, can you draw disability and Medicare too? Usually, if you go on disability, you're on disability for the first 24 months, and then you're switched over to Medicare. So did that answer your question?
Working on disability longer than that.
Didn't hear her. What was that?
Okay, the question And your response was, you'll stay on disability for 24 months? And then they'll put you on Medicare?
That is
But
correct.
so she asked the question whether, what if you have been on disability longer than 24 months, for a real long time? Do you not get Medicare?
There are chances that you may not qualify for Medicare. They have certain age limits and how much work history that you have to have in your past in order to get Medicare. And that's a question that you would need to ask the Social Security office, because they're the ones who regulate when you can get Medicare.
Okay, it says, if you switch over to Medicare for your disability, will the money you get every month, will it be the same, like your disability, or is less?
That again would be a question for the Social Security office. They ask if your disability amount that you get in a check is going to stay the same if you go on Medicare. A lot of times, if you don't qualify for an extra help program, you will have to start paying for your Part B on Medicare, which is $134, and you'll have to start paying for your prescription drug plan and for your Advantage plan. So the price is going to be reduced by what other benefits you get.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Kansas City. All right, let's move to another location. St. Louis.
Okay, we got disconnected, I think.
St. Louis.
Yes, I wanted to know, what could you do about, help with your co-payments on like your, regular, going to the doctor, fees? The co-pay for it. Like for your eyes, like if you're diabetic, your eye examination and eat and stuff like that.
So the question was about the co-payments when you go to a doctor. There will be co-payments when you go to the doctor, because remember, Medicare only pays 80%, and you're responsible for 20%. Now you can look into getting supplemental plans, or if you qualify for one of the Medicaid programs, the Low Health Net programs, they will actually pay part of that for you. That's part of your Part B deductible that they will pay.
Okay.
So if you're borderline on the dollar amount for income or resources, I would suggest you look into signing up for one of those Medicare savings programs and see what they will pay, or if you'll have a spend down, because a lot of times the spend down may not be that much. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
How does the Missouri RX program work with the Part D if you already have a provider for your Part D? How does that work together?
The question is how the Missouri RX plan works with the Part D that you've already got, an existing Part D partner. The Missouri RX program is actually, they'll send you a card to take to the pharmacy, and that's where you will save the 50% of the price of the cost of what you owe on the drug. So your prescription drug plan will pay part of it, and then whatever's left over, your copay, is split in half with the Missouri RX card. And they will actually send you a red and white card in the mail to take to the pharmacy for that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you put up the resource slide again, please?
Is that the one you needed?
No, the resources.
The next one, the next page.
Oh, this one.
Right.
Okay.
And remember, you can always call our office at that 1-800-390-3330. We can help you with any of these plans.
St. Louis, any more questions?
No, thank you.
All right. Sykeston and Charleston, any questions or comments?
We got one question.
Go ahead.
Question is, provider, when you go to a provider to seek services, you present your Medicare card, you present your other supplemental health insurance card, and then you wait, and 2 years down the road, they send you a bill. And after checking with Medicare, I found that Medicare has a time frame for providers to file a claim. So they waited the 2 years, and after the 2 years are up, then they start billing me for the services. So what course does a patient have if the provider doesn't file their claim timely?
If the question is what the client's opportunities are if a claim from a doctor's office comes 2 years later after it's been turned into Medicare. And that is where the mymedicare.gov website, if you sign up a plan there, is very helpful because you can see within a few days what's been paid, what has not been paid. It is my understanding that the doctor's office should not bill you for, if the bill is over a year old. You can fight that. Now, if Medicare denied it for some reason, you only have the 1 year from the date of service to appeal it. So if you're having an issue with the doctor's office sending you a bill 2 years later that they never informed you owed, you can give us a call and we can help you fight that.
I contacted Medicare. They had no record of them ever filing a claim. Nor did my supplemental insurance, which was Blue Cross Blue Shield. They had no record of a claim ever being filed.
Then that goes back to the fault of the doctor's office for not filing in a timely manner, and you should not be held responsible for that. Give us a call and we can help you fight that.
All right. Carruthersville, any questions, comments?
No more questions here, thank you.
All right. Mid-Missouri, I know you have questions.
Yes, sir.
I have, under the supplemental plan, I pay a premium for, and they tell me there's another premium I could be paying and pay more out of the pocket expense. Now, if that would change, and I wanted to say my frequency of going to the doctor changed, could I sign up under another plan again, or am I stuck with this one plan forever?
His question is he has a supplemental plan that covers certain things, and he has an option of changing to another supplemental plan. Is it within the same company?
Oh, yes, I can.
Within the same company, it's a different letter plan?
Right.
Okay. He wants to know if he can change his supplemental plan or if he has to stick with the one that he originally signed up with. And actually, being in Missouri, we have a special ruling in the state of Missouri that you can change any supplemental plan on the anniversary date of when you took the original plan out. So if you started your supplemental plan on like February 1st, then you have the 30 days before, which would be the month of January, and the whole month of February to change to a different company supplemental plan with a guarantee issue right where they cannot give you an upcharge for your health history. The catch to that is you need to stay in the same letter plan. with just a different company, because each company charges a different amount. So if you're with company X on plan F, and their price just keeps rising, 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 and it's ridiculous, and their coverage is not as good as you think it should be, then you can go to plan company Y with the same plan F that might be a cheaper premium for you. Now, if the company is offering you to switch from plan F to plan G, or vice versa, if you change the plan numbers, they can look at your health history and they can put, oh my God, I forgot the name. They can put a right on there that you cannot have certain coverage for 6 months. But 6 months is the amount, the highest amount that they can hold a waiver. But
Like
as
a
long as you-
pre-existing something?
Right, for a pre-existing condition. And then after 6 months, it will be covered. So you can switch your supplemental plan anytime you want to. The question is whether you want to do it when they're looking at your health history, if you've had something in your history that may up their price. So if you do that the month before and the month of your anniversary date, and you stay within the same plan number, they have to charge you the base plan price. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, supposing that you aren't receiving a lot of medications and don't have to have the Medicare Part D program. Now, is that advisable that you have that as a preventative measure, or do you have to have that if you don't use it? I mean, because that's a lot of money to be paying out for.
The question she is asking is whether or not you have to have a prescription drug plan.
Right, correct.
If you're not taking any medication or very little medication. If you do start taking medication later on, you're going to have to pay a penalty for not having a prescription drug plan. And that penalty can be up to $4 a year for every year you didn't have the plan. Okay? So we do recommend that when you're eligible for a prescription drug plan, you just get the cheapest one on the market, which right now is $17 a month. And that way you will never have to pay those penalties, because once you start paying those penalties, you're going to have to pay those penalties every month on top of your Part D premium. And we have had some instances where people haven't got a prescription drug plan for 5 years, and now instead of paying the $17 to have the plan, they're paying $17 plus the $20 penalty every month, so now they're paying almost $40 every month for the Part D plan. So as soon as you're eligible for the prescription drug plan, let's get you signed up. Okay?
Any other
Good
questions?
question.
Going once, going twice. Please join me for a round of applause. And it starts. Well, at this time, it is almost, actually in 10 minutes, time for lunch to start. In saying that, I hope that you are able to find the resources that have been forwarded to the satellite locations. And if you need any additional resources, please feel free to contact the center. And also, just if you have any questions or concerns, we're here. And so at this time, I also want to acknowledge our sponsors. And Office of Minority Health, of course, is a sponsor of this event. And your lunch today is sponsored by Clang. Yeah, thank you, Clang. I think she just stepped out. And I have an announcement for senior summer school, which will be June 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And for sure, one of those presentations is going to be about colon cancer. So I want to make that announcement.
22nd?
Yes, it's June 20th through the 22nd. Well, I hope you enjoyed the presentations again because I felt like they complemented each other. Because your financial health is, can affect your mental and physical and all of that. But in saying that, let's say goodbye to our satellite locations. Let's go in reverse. I always start with the boot hill. Let's start with Kansas City. KC, goodbye Kansas City.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. St. Louis. Goodbye, St. Louis. Thank you for attending. All right. Sykeston. Charleston. Goodbye. All right. Thanks for attending. Let's move one more site. Move on down to Carruthersville. Goodbye, Carruthersville.
Bye.
Thank you for attending.
Thank you. Check your email when you get a chance for me.
Oh, no problem. Sure will. All right.
Thank you.
And thank you all for attending. It is now time for lunch. I see Miss Glenda's here, so we're ready for lunch. A nice lunch.
Thank you.